Welcome to the Eye Opener. I'm your host, Michael Lewis. With just over a week to go to the Virginia governor's election, candidate for Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin said there will be no CRT in schools if he is elected. Florida is reporting one of the lowest per capita cases of COVID infections in the country. The number of cases have fallen 42% in just 2 weeks. The Illinois Supreme Court defended Second Amendment rights in a ruling that states two-gun taxes violate state law. Twitter deleted Representative Jim Banks' tweet claiming hate speech for calling a transgender woman a man. According to Twitter, if someone is born male and decides to change gender, you can't say so. Okay, my friends, let's take a closer look together. Virginia Republican governor candidate Glenn Youngkin said at a rally at Henrico County on Saturday that if he's elected, he will ban teaching critical race theory on his first day in office. Youngkin commented on educational reforms that will be implemented if he's elected. He told his supporters at the rally, "So let me be clear. We will teach accelerated math, we will award advanced diplomas, and we will teach all history, the good and the bad." Youngkin added, "America has fabulous chapters and is the greatest country in the world. But we also have some abhorrent chapters in our history, and we must teach them." Under his administration, children will not be taught to see everything through a racial perspective. Youngkin subsequently quoted the teachings of Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King implored us to judge one another based on the content of our character and not the color of our skin. Therefore, on day one, I will ban critical race theory in our schools. In Northern Virginia, the education debate has become fierce, with parents generally expressing concern about the COVID-19 policy, transgender policy, and key racial theories. Some parents call CRT divisive, saying that it encourages white students to see themselves as oppressors. On the same day, Youngkin also asked Loudoun County Superintendent Scott Ziegler and the school board to immediately resign. A newly discovered explosive email sent by Ziegler to board members showed that he knew about the rape of a female student by a transgender boy at the school, but he deliberately concealed it from the public and parents. Youngkin said that if he wins the election, those responsible for covering up the matter will be held accountable. A bipartisan letter from Congress demands answers from Fauci as to why taxpayers are used to fund extremely cruel experiments on puppies. In the letter to Fauci, Representative Nancy Mace and 14 other Republicans and 9 Democrats wrote about the experiment, stating that members of Congress are gravely concerned about the reports that the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases commissioned taxpayers-funded experiments on dogs at a cost of $2 million that were expensive, cruel, and unnecessary. These experiments reportedly included caging the puppies' heads and then eating them alive by hungry sandflies in the cages, performing vocal cord removal on 44 beagles, and injecting the puppies with large amount of drugs before they were killed and dissected. These lawmakers asked Fauci and his researchers to answer a series of appointed questions by November 19th. Fauci also testified in Congress on many occasions that taxpayers have never funded China's gain-of-function research, which would make the virus more contagious or lethal. In May, Fauci testified that the National Institute of Health was not and is not funding gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virus Research. However, in September, The Intercept revealed documents detailing the EcoHealth Alliance's research work in Wuhan. These documents show that in 2014, the National Institute of Health approved a $666,000 annual grant for 5 years for research on bat coronaviruses by the U.S. Research Institute EcoHealth Alliance. A chart in the New York Times provides COVID-19 daily average cases and the number per 100,000 people. Florida ranks second last in terms of cases per capita. As of Saturday, only 10 cases per 100,000 people have been reported, and the number of cases have fallen by 42% in the past 2 weeks. Only Hawaii ranks lower with only 8 reported cases per capita. In Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer reported 39 cases, while Governor Tom Wolf of Pennsylvania reported 31 cases per capita. New York, once the center of the virus in the United States, reported 21 cases per capita, a decrease of 17% in the past 14 days. Blue California reported 14 cases, while Washington, D.C., which currently has a mask mandate, reported 12 cases, all higher than Florida. The state of Illinois reported 17 cases per capita. The governor of Illinois, J.P. Pritzker, showed no signs of canceling the statewide mask mandate. Governor Ron DeSantis has been proven correct in his response to the virus. Florida has maintained a very low rate of viral infection without any mandatory measures. Not only has proper health care been maintained, but economically as well, with the state's job growth tripling the nation's average for the 17th consecutive month. The case of Florida shows that the result of those scientific-sounding mandates, when implemented in blue states, have not been lower than those in mandate-free red states, but what they have actually been doing is dividing society and severely hurting the economy. A recent survey by the Foundation for Individual Rights in Education found that more than 80% of students say they self-censor on campus, in classrooms, and online, and many left-wing centric professors recognize they could be attacked by the cancel mob. A group led by alumni from Cornell, Princeton, Davidson, Washington and Lee, and the University of Virginia formed the Alumni Free Speech Alliance, AFSA, this week. Students and faculty who fight against bigoted campus trends often feel too isolated and intimidated to speak up, even if they are in the majority, the AFSA says on its website. The health of the universities, and therefore the health of the nation, depends on reversing these communist authoritarian trends that now threaten the survival of free speech and related values on campus across the country. The AFSA can provide much-needed support to these faculty and students. It will focus on persuading alumni to form specific campus groups to promote free speech, academic freedom, diversity of opinion, and nonpartisanship. This is not the first national group to harness the power of alumni to protect the core values of education. The American Council of Trustees and Alumni, ACTA, includes free speech, financial accountability, high educational standards, a backlash against progressive political activism in the curriculum. ACTA President Michael Polyakov said the formation of the organization was a breakthrough for alumni. He said ACTA has long worked with alumni groups, including Dartmouth and William & Mary, and this year it helped kill an anti-racism curriculum requirement and ongoing mandatory faculty anti-racism training at Cornell University. Education in the United States is generally considered to have been a hotbed of such communist authoritarianism for many years. A series of recent cases that have attracted widespread attention have occurred in the U.S. education system. The Illinois Supreme Court ruled on October 21st that 2 Cook County gun and ammunition taxes violate the state's constitution because they affect the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. This includes a $25 county tax law approved in 2012 and a tax law from 2015 that adds a cost to different types of ammunition. Judge Mary Jane Thies said that this case involved a challenge to Cook County's 2 tax laws. Although these taxes do not directly burden law-abiding citizens, they do directly burden law-abiding citizens' right to obtain guns and necessary ammunition. Therefore, while these taxes are often enacted in the name of raising funds to combat gun violence, in reality, they don't. Trade groups and the gun rights organization Guns Save Lives have filed a lawsuit against the county's tax laws, claiming that they violate the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. And coming up, Twitter deletes Representative Jim Banks' tweet claiming hate speech, and the New York City mayor is trying to rid the city of Trump, and it may cost taxpayers $30 million. But before we continue, I want to take a quick second to ask all my friends watching and my live chat family to please take a moment to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, but most importantly, share this video. Depending on you, my friends, and the power of word of mouth to spread the truth. Also, to support the Eye Opener team, please consider donating to the show or purchasing a mug that matters. You can find the link in the description below, and your support, as always, is greatly appreciated. Salute. On Saturday, Twitter deleted a tweet from the official account of Representative Jim Banks, accusing him of violating the platform's ban on hateful content. According to reports, Banks' Twitter was blocked until he deleted the tweet that referred to Assistant Secretary of Health Rachel Levine as a man. Levine was biologically a male at birth, but identifies as a woman. Banks tweeted about Levine on Tuesday after news broke that Levine would be honored as the first female 4-star general in the history of the U.S. Public Health Service. His tweet said, "The title of the first female 4-star officer has taken away by a man." By Saturday, Twitter had deleted this message and accused banks of violating the platform's prohibition of hateful content. After Twitter had already deleted his tweet, banks responded, "My tweet was a statement of fact. Big tech doesn't have to agree with me, but they shouldn't be able to cancel me. If they silence me, they will silence you. We can't allow big tech to prevent us from telling the truth. When Republicans take back the House next year, we must restore honesty to our public forums and hold big tech accountable. Big tech's speech censorship is seriously threatening our fundamental constitutional right to free speech. And it is baffling that such tools are now allowed to appear on public social platforms in the United States with impunity." New York City's attempt to get rid of Donald Trump under far-left Mayor de Blasio has turned into a comedy of errors that could end up saddling taxpayers with a whopping $30 million bill. In an attempt to be a hero to progressives, the mayor said on January 13th that he would cancel concession contracts for the Trump Organization's long-term operation of the historic Central Park Carousel, the Woolman and Lasker skating rinks in the park, and the Trump Ferry Point golf course in the Bronx. The city then moved to strip Trump of his Central Park contract and shut down the two rinks 6 weeks early. The city selected a new rink operator in July, a joint venture between New Jersey-based Harris Blitzer Sports and entertainment and developers-related companies and Equinox. They were quick to raise their rates. A family of four now has to pay $109 to get in, rent skates, and get a locker, instead of $95 under Trump. In its lawsuit against the termination, the Trump Organization stated it is entitled to more than $30 million in compensation if it is evicted. The city may pay the money despite Comptroller Scott Stringer's request to suspend the rushed process. Built on a former dump that closed in the early 1960s, Trump Ferry Point took 14 years to develop and opened in 2015 as the city's newest public golf course, but only because then Mayor Mike Bloomberg asked Trump to take over construction and management. It reportedly cost $269 million to build. Trump added a 20,000 square foot clubhouse in 2018, which he said cost $10 million. Trump recently complained in his Save America PAC, "I invested many millions of dollars, all cash, in this project in order to get it done, which I did, starting from scratch in record time. Now under Mayor de Blasio, he wants to confiscate the project from me for no reason whatsoever and terminate my long-term arrangement with the city." His son, Eric Trump, also said, "New York is being overrun by crime and homelessness, and people are fleeing in record numbers. Yet this mayor's focus is using $30 million of taxpayers' money to settle political scores?" So far in 2021, the well-performing and acclaimed Trump course has hosted over 25,000 rounds of golf and grossed more than $8.2 million, twice as much as it did during the 2020 pandemic shutdown, and $1 million more than in 2018. The course is expected to reach $10 million by the end of the year. The city is apparently ignoring the agreement it has with Jack Nicklaus's company, which gives it veto power over who runs the course. In a letter to the city council on October 12, Nicklaus's chief executive John Reese said they did not want to get entangled in city politics. And that's it for today, my friends. Check out the playlist right here for more eye-opening content. You can join me in the Eye Opener Telegram chat room and follow me on Newmaker, Gab, Parler, and Getter. Now, don't forget, please sign up to the email list so that we can stay in touch. I'd like to thank you all, and I'll see you next time.